Well, hi again, everybody. James Escarcega, and look at that jersey, folks. I mean, that is as sharp a jersey as you're going to find, Freddie Robledo.
Let's go. Big night, James. Big night. It's Monday night. I'm fired up. This is really hard to watch a Dodgers Giants playoff series because, man, you don't want to lose this. You do not want to lose to them.
No.
We've got our horse going to Scherzer going tonight. Let's get it. I mean, they got to get this one. They're going to win it. This is like a Game 7 feel tonight.
It doesn't. I had the same feeling this morning myself, pal. And we should let everybody know we've got our own set of horses that are going to be covering to the whole Dodger series to the finish. Bill Plunkett, Mark Wicker, Jim Alexander, JP Hoonstra. All those guys are going to be covering tonight. So make sure you read all our game stories and columns on our website. Freddie, here we go. This is the final stretch of the football season for many of these leagues because they start this week with these 4-team leagues. The push is on, my friend.
Yeah, so finally the unveiling, really the first real unveiling of the Mount Sac area 4-team leagues, and there are plenty of them, James. I know they played some games in the spring, but not very many teams played a full 4-game schedule. This was supposed to debut last fall. Obviously, COVID hit. So here we go. The Miramonte League is the only league of those 4 teams that actually play a home and away. So they've already started. But everyone else, and when we think of some of those leagues, here's some of the names you want to new names. The Mountain West League.
Yep.
That includes Bonita and Charter Oak,
Correct.
and Ayala. The Mount Baldy 4 League is Baldwin Park, Wilson, Workman, and I think Chaffey.
Yep.
So there's a few of them. I mean, we can go on. The new Sierra League is going to include Covina, Pomona, and Roland. Remember, the Sierra League used to be a great name for a great league.
Right, because back in the day had Diamond Bar and Upland, and that was back in the day there, Coach.
West Covina's in the San Antonio League.
The Hacienda League is all revamped now. That's a new league now with Walnut, Nogales, Diamond Bar in Ontario, and of course we have the Citrus 4, which has Glendora in it. So it's just
Colony.
Yep. So we have all kinds of leagues here, Freddie.
Yeah. So it's the reason it's going to be tough is because these next 3 games for all those teams are playoff games, basically, James. You lose a game, your chances of getting that at-large berth are against the wall. You've got to win those final 2 weeks. So with this new playoff structure, we don't exactly know what it's going to do to these teams who want at-large playoff berths or how that's going to factor into the equation. Sure. But what we do know is if you get an automatic qualifier, you're in. Wherever you're in, wherever it falls in divisions, you are in the playoffs, which wasn't a guarantee in years past. So those 4-team leagues, 2 are in, 2 are out, and the race starts now.
On Friday nights, not only does Freddie put up the one-stop shop with our football wrap, which we'll talk about at the end of the lightning round, but we also do the post-game show of the 2-minute drill, in which we get real-time analysis of all the games that happened Friday night. And Freddie, there was no hotter topic than Upland defeating Damien. Yours truly with another lock of the week win. Did pick Upland to win, Freddie, and that means Damien's in big trouble, pal.
Yeah, I was thinking about it over the weekend with Damien. Yeah, they're in big trouble because they're 2-5, and basically every game. If I'm Damien right now, every game's a playoff game, right?
No question.
You've got to get to 500 to submit for an at-large entry. And my guess is if they get to 500, being in the baseline league, looking at their schedule, if you're taking 500 teams, they're going to have a pretty good shot, James. So this week's game at Aquinas is a playoff game. They've got to win that game. They can't afford to lose that because they would basically be out no matter. I shouldn't say no matter what they did in the baseline, because stranger things can happen. They can win 2, get in a tiebreaker, flip a coin, and get an automatic playoff entry. But that's dreaming. That's not going to happen when there are only 2 playoff spots. So they've got to win out. And if I'm Coach Bechtel right now, and I'm those guys, and I'm circling those kids, and I'm telling them, look, the 7 games you've played right now, I know you're 2-5. And you've been in every single game. of those 7. Nobody's blown you out. Etowanda got away. It was 17-3, but you've been in every one of those games. If I'm talking to Damian, I'm saying, look, every game from here on out will not be as tough as those previous 7. Maybe even in the playoffs, because you slipped yourself into what would be a Division 3 or possibly 4, maybe even 5. Who knows? But I think they're in like 3 or 4 if they win out. So if I'm Damian, I'm telling them, look, you're not going to play a tougher game the rest of the way, the next 3 weeks and playoffs, than you play these previous 7 that you've all been in. Don't give up on the season. You go to Aquinas, you get a win, you start there, then you got to deal with Chino Hills, you got to deal with who's it?
Rancho Cucamonga.
Those are both very beatable teams, considering what you've done this year. They have just got to not give up on the season. Because James, if they win those 3 and they get to the playoffs, while everybody's clowning them right now and making fun of all the preseason hype videos, they get to the playoffs in like a Division 4, James, they can win that.
There's no question.
They can win that. They can flip, and that's what these playoff divisions, what I don't like about them, but this is what they create. You can have a horrible season, things go bad like it has for Damian, sneak in, and because you've been bad, go into a Division 4, which you probably shouldn't be in, and now you can make a run at a title. So they have got to man up, not give up, take each game as a playoff game. It starts this week for them. They want to win a championship. It starts this week, and like I said, they will not play a tougher game than any of the previous 7 they've played so far. So it's up to them.
Yeah, they're going to have to go one. They're going to have that 1-0 mentality for the next 3 weeks. You just got to take it really, and it's a coach's cliche, but it's the truth. You got to take it 1 week at a time here. You know, you just can't look on the schedule and say, oh, you got to take care of your business that's squarely in front of you. Go ahead, Fred.
And you see all of those, look, I think a lot of people are kind of circling the wagon. I mean, not circling the wagon, but I think a lot of people are
throwing shade.
They're being rough on social media with Damian, and that's because of all of the preseason talk and all of that stuff right now. But this is where they've got to look inside themselves and ask themselves, what do we want the rest of the way? We want to go out like this? Because if they lose this week, it's over. I think they lose the last 2 games in league because they would have no chance. That locker room has got to be strong right now. And you hear some rumors that the locker room might be fractured a little bit. Those are just rumors you see on Twitter. I think there's going to be haters and people that say that. Nobody knows what's going on in that locker room except for those players and those coaches. So they have a chance to get it together. It's on them. I still think the ball's in their court. These are 3 games they can win. They should win based on those 7 previous games. It's going to be up to them. They've got to look inside themselves, hit their chest a little bit, and say, what do we want? I think they can do it. I think they can win these last 3. I think they're going to go to Aquinas and get the win on Friday. Maybe I'm just being overly optimistic, but I think they can, or at least they should.
We're going to talk about that game on the Lightning Round. By the way, that's a Saturday game, Freddie. So that's going to be more. Game. Yeah. I also I don't know if you read Eric Paul Johnson's story. Looks like Dylan Gutierrez was pulled in the first half of that game at quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be under center for the Spartans Saturday night, so to speak. So, all right, Freddie, let's get to work here. We got kind of an interesting schedule. I think all of the games are kind of top heavy, maybe the Thursday night, so to speak. Let's talk about the game you're going to be at on Thursday night. That's right, folks. Fred Robledo is going to head to the Whittier area, everybody, and is heading to the pit for St. Francis at St. Paul. It is truly our game of the week. Freddie, what a matchup.
Yeah, and, I didn't think I was going to be able to cover this game because originally it was scheduled for Friday night, and it's a 7:30. And
guess usually you get those type of games. Me.
And for someone like me, because I got to get back and I got to, do everything that I do on a Friday night. And, but with this game being moved to a Thursday, James, we don't have any deadlines. So I'll be able to get over there. And this is a game I can't wait to see because you've got 5-1 St. Francis against 6-0 St. Paul. St. Paul, a lot of people talking about the schedule they played. Is it good enough? I mean, are they the real deal? I think that they are. I'm just going back to that 2019 season. I think they got to the semifinals, right? I just think Coach Zepeda has done a great job with that program. He's going to have them ready. St. Francis has the one bad loss on their schedule. It really looks bad now. When you look at what Damien's done at 2-5,
Right.
that blowout loss to Damien looks bad. And the rest of St. Francis's schedule, you can question that too. It hasn't been a juggernaut. There's been a win against Mir. There's the Miracosta win, which doesn't look that great now.
Right.
They play these two teams from the San Diego section that how much do we really know about them other than their records? So I think there's a lot of questions about both of these teams. And when we talk about playoff spots, Loyola is probably the favorite. Crispy,
Yes.
as you've noted, is surging. This is a win with 2 automatic playoffers in this league. This is a win each of these teams have to get that leg up. I'm taking St. Paul. I'm taking St. Paul at home in the pit to. Should I call this an upset, James? What is
No, I don't think. Could be. Well, I mean, Cal Preps has St. Francis winning by 3. So,
Okay.
yeah, you can call it an upset if you want.
Yeah, you take that's on a neutral site. So, as you would always say,
No. Well, I mean, it's on neutral, whatever they.
give those 3 points back for the home team, and we've got a
Okay.
pick'em game.
Probably.
And you're asking me a pick'em game. I'm going with St. Paul.
Okay.
Who
So,
you got?
Freddie.
Who you got?
My locks of the week, I've had a couple. I've had Pasadena losing to Culver City, and I had last week Upland defeating Damien.
Yeah, you hit
This
it.
is my third lock of the week. St. Francis.
Wow, that's a lot.
Book
for you.
it.
That's a lot.
Double
You're
book it.
booking it. Only I can book it, James.
All right.
Somebody out there help me out. I need shirts. I want shirts that say.
Oh, you want the shirt? I can arrange that.
I'm gonna walk out these Friday nights with a big shirt that says "Book It" from now on.
I cannot wait for this quarterback matchup. Isaiah Dunn for St. Paul and Jack Jacobs for St. Francis. You got Max Garrison, who's been Mr. Everything for St. Francis here at running back and free safety. I'm taking the Golden Knights to come out of the pit with the win and put themselves in position to win the Angeles League. But it's going to be fun, though, Freddie.
I can't wait to get out there. I haven't been to the pit, and I want to say 6 or 7 years. It's actually
Has it been that far? Guess who might be also showing up there, pal?
What's that?
Guess who might also be showing up there?
Eric Sonheimer.
From the LA Times.
I may have to take a trip out. So he's not going to have much coverage that night because I'll just blow
Take
over
it from there.
So
all right. So we have a split on what truly is the game of the week, everybody.
Yeah, it is.
It's St. Francis.
And that game, everybody.
Yes.
It is an online only, but look in the Saturday paper. We will have that in the Tribune. It's such a big game. Some of these games that are past our deadline, we like to run in print the following day. We have a lot of games on Friday night that don't make our paper Saturday morning. Always grab a Sunday morning because we put those top games on Friday that don't make it in Sunday print.
Duly noted. The other big Thursday night game, Freddie, starts the Citrus 4 League. It's Colony versus Glendora at Citrus College. This is the game I'm going to be at. Once again, I'm always excited to go to Citrus to watch Glendora play because the community just embraces that football team, and the stands are packed and everything. And by the looks of things, it looks like this might be vacation time, as you would like to say for Glendora there, Freddie.
Yeah, well, the Citrus 4 League, you got Glendora, who's 7-0, right?
Yep.
And they're playing Los Osos, who's won just one game. And also in that league is South Hills and Los Osos, who are 0 for right now.
Right. So Colony's the only team with a winning record.
They're the only team, not winning record, with a win.
With a win, period. Right.
Right. So when you look at Glendora, going into the CalPreps ranking, they were ranked 27th.
It's pretty strong.
In the southern section, which is interesting. You move up 3 more spots, that puts you in Division 2. I don't know if that's a place Glendora wants to win. Now, because their league is so down this year, James, the strength of schedule may take a hit over the next 3 weeks. They got that bump after the Ayala win 2 weeks ago, because both teams were undefeated. So I don't expect Glendora to get into that top 24. I think they're a solid Division 3 lock. And, if you look at these 3 games, Colony on paper would seem to have the best chance, but I think they're like a 30-point underdog on CalPreps.
Yep.
I think you're right. This is vacation time for Glendora. They're going to win this game. They're going to obviously beat South Hills and Los Osos. They're going to go into the playoffs 10-0, and all that's left to know is what's their seed going to be in Division 3. And I think right now, They want to be in that high end. They've got to hope that the schedule strength doesn't knock them so that they're on the bottom half of that D3 to where they have to play a top seed and not have a playoff game. That's what's the strange thing. They could go 10-0, win their league, and have a road game if they're not a top 8 team in Division 3, which is what I'm forecasting them to be in. I'm pretty comfortable saying I think they'll be in that division. But we're going to see what the schedule does to them, James. Like right now, 29 would put them theoretically at number 3, I think, or 27 would put them at number 3 seed. That's without knowing the automatic qualifiers and everything else. But yeah, Glendora's a lock, James. They're going to win that game, and all that's left, like I said, is to find out where they're going to be.
Okay, we'll both take Glendora here on Thursday night. Then it's bounced to Friday. Huge game in the Mission League here, Freddie. We're going to send our buddy Tarek Fatal, who was pleading to get you to go out to the Bishop Mont at Alamany game. But
he thinks that there's no other big games. He just
we got some games out here. We got plenty of games out here.
He doesn't know that there's other big games.
So we're going to trust him with the coverage here. But Freddie, as big games go, this is pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, the big fear for both of these teams, for the winner, and it is a fear. I'm going to be honest with you, it is a fear. Neither of them wants to slip into that number 8 spot in Division 1, where you've got to play Modern Day in the first round. Right. That's the only danger here. They both want to win a league championship, but they don't want a league championship if that means having to play the number 1 seed Modern Day. You want to win a league championship and be the number 1 or 2 seed in Division 2. So, and there's no way of knowing what can happen. CIF a couple of weeks ago, when we were arguing, is there going to be, said there could be as many as 16 teams. They'll leave it open for the possibility of more. It's going to be an 8-team league, from what everyone is saying. They said not to worry about that. So this game becomes big. I personally, looking at it right now, do not think the Mission League winner will get that number 8 spot, James. I really think there's going to be 4 Trinity League teams. I think Los Alamitos at the end of the day is going to finish ahead of whoever wins the Mission League if they win out, looking at their schedule and then how it plays out. So this is big. This is big, not just for the league championship, but I think the winner here has a chance to be first, second, or third seed in Division 2, which is huge. Guarantees you a playoff game, gives you a real chance. It's a real pick'em game. Bishop Amat, look, they have those 2 bad losses to St. John Bosco and Servite, who've done that to a lot of people, right? But in their 5 wins, they've blown everybody out. They've done what you're supposed to do to teams like that. So where are they? It's kind of hard to tell. This is the game to really find out how good they are. You think they're going to win a Division 2 championship, or they have a shot? This is the game where you really find out. I think they're good enough, but I also think Alamany is a team that's underachieved this year. They've got a lot of guys, as Tark has told me, who are going to sign Division 1 on signing day, over 10, maybe a dozen. They've got all the talent in the world. Where they're not real strong, though, is up front. All these guys, they're signing all these guys, the wide receivers, the corners, all the athletic positions. God, this is, I think Alamany's a favorite on Cal Preps.
By 10.
I'm going to go with Alamany. I think Alamany wins this game at home on the road. I think Bishop Amat's going to win their last 2 games. But I think Alamany, look, they should win this game. So, I'm not going to go with the upset special here. I'm calling, I think Alamany's going to beat them.
Just remember this, Freddie. Nobody circles the wagons better than Bishop Amat.
Yeah,
that's why I'm picking them to win.
Unless they're playing St. John Bosco or Servite.
That's true. But I'm just saying, whenever we doubt the Lancers, they always come through. Well, how many times, Freddie? Think about this for a second, Freddie. How many times over the years have we said, "Oh, Bishop Amat, this might not be the year," and all of a sudden it's week 10 and they're playing for a league? It just happens, Freddie.
They're the hardest team to figure out because if you're honest with yourself, they haven't played. Look, they played the 2 super teams and they got absolutely blown out. There's nothing to get out of that. The 5 teams they've beaten, they got to start the Mission League the easy way with Notre Dame and Cathedral. That was easy.
Yep.
Now the next 3 weeks get hard. You've already seen Sarah beat Chaminade in this league.
That
So
was a
these next
shocker
3
too.
games, if Bishop Amat isn't the real deal, if those 5 wins were kind of just because they were bad teams and they go 0-3, James, they're going to be looking for an at-large too.
Yeah.
But they've got at least 5-5 secured. So I think they're going to get in the playoffs no matter what. I think it's all about what division and what seeding they get. But this is a game to find out where they're at. I'm going to sell right now until I actually see it against a really good team. I'm going to go with Alamany. Who do you got?
I've got Bishop Amat. Just remember, Amat's got, if they win next Friday, then they've got Chaminade at home, which, it's impossible for almost, unless you're Mater Dei or Bosco, whatever, to win at Kiefer. Then they got that last game, as I mentioned in the column today. They got that last game against Sarah, which could be for all the marbles on the road.
And that game is interesting, James. You're 1,000% right, because Sarah didn't have to play that first game
with Alamany because of
against Alamany, because they had COVID issues. They ruled that game would not be a forfeit; it would be a no contest.
Yep.
So basically, they don't have to play Alamany, and they won the big game. They had to beat Chaminade, so they're going to beat Notre Dame. They're going to beat Cathedral. Yep. They're going to go into that last week undefeated. And we still have to talk to the league and find out what the scenario is with that, avoiding that game. What if Alamany goes, loses a game and wins out? And Sarah beats Bishop Amat in the final? Do they get the league title without ever having to beat Alamany? Even though Alamany, who knows how this is going to play out? We've got to find out answers to that.
We'll find them, and we're going to get those answers Friday night on the post-game show right afterward.
Yeah,
we'll have
that changed everything.
Everybody on for instant reaction. Go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that Sarah win over Chaminade just changed everything. Yep. Because having to not have to play Alamany, I mean, what does that do now?
Yep. Our big game locally, which is the game that Freddie's going to go to Friday night, is Charter Oak at Bonita. It's a great game here, Freddie, because you got, obviously the coaching matchup with Dom Ferrara and Steve Bogan. They go back to the Charter Oak South Hills days. But on the field-wise, the talent on this field is going to be pretty good.
It's going to be very good, James. And look at this. This is one of my favorite. What's this league called? Sometimes I still got
Mountain West League.
Yeah, I don't have these in my memory banks like I have previously.
I'm going to do that to you Friday night. Know your leagues, Freddie. It's going to be a new feature. Know your leagues.
Mountain West League. And this is the best public school league in our area of 4 teams. It's amazing when you think of, you got Ayala with 1 loss, you got Bonita with 1 loss, you've got Altaloma with 1 loss, and Charter Oak with 2 losses. And all 4 very, very good teams that are probably Division 5 or higher. Charter Oak has, if you were going to ask right now, make my predictions on 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Charter Oak would probably be 4. I think you have to say that just because of, look, they have the 2 losses. I realize that they lost to Glendora, and give them credit. That game was a 14-14 game going into the last quarter. And they also lost to Chino Hills, a game that got away from them. Their other 4 wins, have been good wins, but not against anyone great. I think they're very capable, though, also, James, of winning this league. They can go off and win this league. This is my upset special. You want an upset special?
Please, let me have it.
I'm calling Charter Oak to beat Bonita on Friday night. Things haven't gone right for them. And while we're here,
yes,
I want to take the opportunity to send my condolences to the Farrar family, Nancy Farrar, the wife of the legendary Lou Farrar, who passed away 2 years ago from cancer. Nancy lost her battle with cancer. Dom Farrar, they put out on Charter Oak that they had found out in August she had pancreatic cancer.
Yep.
She had lost that battle. And imagine what that's been like for Coach Dom Farrar and his son Vincent, who's the quarterback of the team. They've had to go through that. It was getting worse for them. Her situation going into that game with Glendora, I've since learned, James, they have had to deal. I can't even imagine what that's been like for Dom Farrar. First you lose your dad, your never over that grieving process. And then it's your mom and you're going through it all over again during a football season, trying to juggle both. My prayers just absolutely go out to him and that family. This has got to be an unbelievable time for them to go through. But life goes on. He's a great man. He always has been. I've talked to him regularly, and I think football, for him getting back in the field this week, is going to be something that allows him to put himself in a different place. And it'll be interesting to see how what this team looks like. And I'm not saying they're going to circle the wagons because of everything that happened. Of course, they're going to play hard. They're going to want to play hard for their coach. Vincent's going to want to play hard after what's going on. Those emotions can send you a million different ways. I'm just saying on paper, what Charter Oak has, their talent level, I think the best is yet to come out. And I think you're going to see it. I'm just predicting and guessing it's going to happen this week. I think they're capable. So I'm calling the upset win, Charter Oak on Friday night.
I'll take the other side here with Bonita, but I should be mentioned too. Freddie, it's tough to find wives that love football. It doesn't happen. I mean, it's just when you find them, you hold on to them. And Nancy was truly, she treated the Charter Oak football community as if it was her family. And I know it hit everybody hard, but at the same time, she's no longer in pain, and that's okay in my book. So
yeah, she's with her husband, the Ferrari.
And they're going to have the best seat in the house Friday night.
They're going to pull up a chair on Friday night. They'll be on the sidelines.
Yep.
And Dom knows that. Vincent knows that. And look, that coaching staff, who's been a big part of their family, they know that too. So all of our condolences, our prayers, everything with Charter Oak this week. Unbelievable what he's had to go through. So
if you have a chance, folks, just go through the tweet of the thread of the announcement that they put out, and you'll see the impact that Nancy had on every one of those kids that went through the program. They almost treat her like a second mom, so to speak. So Freddie's got Charter Oak. I've got Bonita Friday night. How can I go against Bogan? Come on, Freddie.
And look at they've looked great, James, and all of the games they've looked great. They had the one
Andrade.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I have that gut feeling that Charter Oak is going to surprise someone, and they've been that team that's kind of lost some of that luster with some of those losses. They can jump right back into it big time with a win here. I think. All right,
we're solely noted. All right, Freddie, you know what time it is, buddy? This is your time. It is time for the lightning round. That's right. We're going to go through at least 10 games, if not more, this week. A lot of league action underway. We need Freddie's takes on these games, and we're going to start Thursday night, Freddie. Northview versus Diamond Ranch at District Field.
This becomes an interesting game because Diamond Ranch hasn't looked that good at all this year. I'm finally selling on them. I mean, that loss they had to Colony, who hadn't won a game, and they lost 27-7 2 weeks ago. They've just been getting hammered now. I don't know what their health situation is. It always seems like they're on the verge of coming back. Who knows? But the thing is, though, Northview hasn't been that good either this year. So, I'm going to go with Diamond Ranch. I just think them and San Dimas are still the two best teams in the league.
All righty. The other Thursday night game, this probably has playoff implications, Freddie. Burbank is at Arcadia Pacific League.
Yeah, Arcadia really looked bad against Muir last week, not being able to score a point, getting shut out.
And how about letting us know that you're going to start earlier next time? That would be nice too, Freddie.
Yeah. They're starting at 6:30, James. I did notice that they are starting at 6:30 on Thursday night.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that game's a Thursday game. I think Burbank gave Pasadena a decent little run for a while this past weekend. I'm going to go with Burbank to beat Arcadia.
Friday night, Lucerno in their final prep before their big matchup with El Rancho next week is at Cal High.
Yeah, Cal's been good. That loss to El Rancho to me solidified. They're going to finish third in league. This is a Lucerno win. They've looked great. All things are pointing it's week 9. All things are pointing to week 9 next week when they meet El Rancho.
Sonora is at La Habra. It seems like decades ago now, Freddie, that La Habra was 0-5.
La Habra's flipped the switch, James. And this is what I thought might have that 0-5, whatever it is.
Yep.
you heard rumors that after 0-3, or during that fourth, they started resting guys, making sure people were ready for league. They didn't care that it was going to be an 0-5 start. I don't know how much of that contributed to it, but they're playing like La Habra right now in league. 2 blowout wins. I think they're going to go through league. I think there's one game in league that's going to be tough. It's not. It's not going to be this week against Sonora. They're going to beat Sonora. But who's the team that has the best record who's also undefeated in that league? I'm trying to remember the name.
I'm going to look at it real fast here, Coach. It is Sunny Hills.
Sunny Hills. That's going to be the game in a couple weeks. I think that's going to decide that league title. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, that game. Oh no, they've already played Sunny Hills and won already, Coach.
Oh, then I stand corrected. It's over.
It's Troy. I'm sorry.
Troy. Okay. James, why are you doing that to me? I knew there was one team.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your schedule right now.
What's Troy's record?
It's on the 29th.
Yeah. What's Troy's record?
6-1.
6-1. Yeah, that's the game. That's going to be the game, I think, that decides the league title. They're going to win this week.
Sorry about that.
Here we go.
All right, so the Hacienda League opens up with, and I like this matchup, Freddie. Ontario is at Diamond Bar. This is a tricky game here for Diamond Bar. If they lose this game, man, all this positive momentum they've had just goes down the tubes.
Yeah, I think Mikey Gorby has been a really good player, and they're going to lean on him. That's an interesting league because he got Walnut in that league also.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's this is why they created this league. This is where the parity is. All these teams are fairly close to each other, but I'm going to go with Diamond Bar to get the win.
The other team in that league is Nogales.
And Nogales.
Yeah, we can't forget them because Henry Montemayor would be all over us.
Walnut Nogales this week, right? Wow.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, here we go. Hey, Rosemead is at Arroyo, and in years past, Freddie, this was the game in the Mission Valley League.
Yeah, you can book it. This game is going to be an Arroyo special. No one's touching them. You saw what they did to South El Monte last week. They're just too good for this league, James. They're doing what El Monte did to teams in 2019.
So Muir is playing Crescenta Valley at Glendale High School, and Pasadena is at Burroughs. These games, as of right now, are on Friday, but don't be surprised if they're moved to Thursday. But at any rate, Freddie, both teams are on the crash collision course toward Week 10 at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, Muir has been the one that I've kept my eye on because they're, beating Arcadia, shutting them out. Their defense, I noted, I forget what it was. I think they've allowed 21 points total in all 5 of their wins.
Right.
Which is pretty remarkable. That's getting it done, even if the teams you're playing aren't that great. I mean, holding Cathedral to 2 points, shutting out Arcadia. I know Pasadena is probably still the better team in the Pacific. They're on a collision course to meet undefeated in league at the Turkey Tussle. You noted it in today's column that you can find online. But you always have that feeling with Muir. You want to book these games and say book it Crescenta Valley. They're down this year. You just never know. I'm going to go with Muir to win, but each week, I don't know why. It just feels like they've got to keep proving it each week that it's real because you almost don't want to believe what they're doing is real. That they're 5-1 after we heard they were going to take a big step back. They're 5-1, and their defense is getting it done. You got to give them that credit, but I don't know why each week it feels like that wheel is going to fall off, and it hasn't. I'm taking them to beat Crescenta Valley, and I'm taking Pasadena to win. They're going to win that game, and we'll move on to the next week.
This is a fascinating game here, Freddie. So Pasadena Poly is at South Pasadena. Crowd Preps has this game pretty tight, and I can understand why. I think these are two very similar teams, and if South Pasadena doesn't come to play ball here, Freddie, they'll lose.
Yeah, well, South Pasadena beat La Cañada, right?
Barely.
And Pasadena Poly beat La Cañada. That was kind of the shocker early in league. Oh no, they beat San Marino.
Yes.
This is kind of a toss-up game.
It is.
And what's interesting is these schools are. I know Rio Hondo Prep is their rival, but if Pasadena Poly could have another natural rival, it might be South Pass where they play a lot of their home games.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of those kids kind of know each other. I bet a lot of the Pasadena Poly kids are from South Pass, just a guess of mine. I'm going with South Pasadena to beat them. I was impressed with their win over La Cañada last week. I'm going to go with South Pasadena in a close game.
I'm going to take Pasadena Poly here, pal. And by the way, next week, Pass Poly, La Cañada, LA Coliseum.
That's nice.
Chaffey at West Covina. This is time for Mike Majority to work his magic, pal.
I've got West Covina to win league. I think they're going to beat Chaffey. I've seen West Covina twice now. I saw them against Charter Oak when, man, they moved the ball pretty well against them. They have got, I mean, when I say big guys, I mean, it almost, I don't know if I'm watching Bishop Amat or St. Francis or one of the bigger teams in or Glendora. They've got that kind of size up front, and they can run the ball. They've got a really mobile quarterback. They're a team to watch what playoff division they go into, because I do think they're going to win this league. I know they're 3-4. They've played a really good schedule. They've lost to some pretty good teams, James. Put away teams that they're supposed to put away. I'm taking West Covina on Friday. I like them to win league, and I think they're going to make some noise before this season is done.
The game I'm going to be at on Friday, Freddie, San Dimas is at Los Altos. Got to think the Saints are favorites here.
Yeah, you do, but you don't. I mean, I'm not sure. Look, Los Altos is play. Look at their schedule. Read off their losses. Can you go on there really quick and read those off for me? Tell me who they lost to. Watch this.
I know they lost to Glendora because I was there for that one.
They lost to Monrovia.
Let's see here.
They lost to St. Francis.
Ayala, Monrovia.
Ayala.
JW North, St. Francis, Charter Oak. I get your point, Freddie.
They've lost every single game they've lost. San Dimas might have lost to all of those teams too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the game against Monrovia, we see how great Monrovia is.
Wow.
They almost beat Monrovia. I'm picking Los Altos to beat San Dimas on Friday night. That's another upset special. I just think when we talk about the schedule they play and where their talent level is, and I think San Dimas, I just don't think they're the San Dimas that we saw in 2019 or in the spring. They've had some injury issues. This game is at LA. Altos is going to beat them, James. Book it. Oh, I know Mark Holman loves to hear that from me.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna be sitting.
I've got LA on Friday.
I'm gonna be sitting in that visiting press box of Los Altos, and I'm gonna get all the backlash.
There we go. Book it.
Yeah.
LA all day.
Hey, Saturday night special. Hey, Saturday night special here, Freddie. Damien at Aquinas. Go.
Damien has to win. Gotcha. I know, and Aquinas hasn't been. They've been okay this year. They're not the good team we saw a few years ago, but they're still really good. It's a game. If they're not careful, they could lose. But doggone it, Damien has to win. Now their backs are to the wall. This isn't they need to win to stay in contention. Their backs are to the wall. They have to win. They're going to go to Aquinas Saturday night when no one's really paying attention and get the win. Book it. Done. They're not going to do this again. They're not going to fall to 2-6.
Okay. So there you go, folks. I think that's about 11 games that we rifled through on the lightning round here. As always, Freddie does a great job in giving out the picks. I'll tell you what Freddie also does a great job of on Friday night, and that is becoming a staple in the San Gabriel Valley at around 10:45, the Friday evening wrap.
Yeah, we get the Friday. It might even be 11 o'clock this week, James. I'm coming back from Bonita. I'm thinking two teams might be, Bonita passes the ball a lot. Deadline, we'll get it all up. We'll get everything up.
The officials call some penalties, right?
If I'm a little late to the spaces or I don't make it this week, you're
totally understandable
with everybody. It's going to be a big Friday night of important games. We got the Almont game coming in too. But yeah, the Friday night wrap. I'm going to link all of your stories together. All of the big ones from Thursday night too. We put them all in one-stop shop. You can read them. It'll have all the scores from Friday nights. It's become a tradition now. All of the papers in our group do it. So enjoy it. This is where it gets fun now, James. These next 3 weeks, all of the playoff games, all of the implications, we're getting closer to the biggest selection Sunday in CIF history. And I say that because without knowing what division you're in, this is why CIF did this. Their computers are going to crash. Nobody's going to, we're going to be on there and having to hit refresh. The system is going to go down. It won't be able to handle it because everyone and their mother is going to be hitting refresh to find out what division teams are in and who they're playing. It's going to be wild, and we're 3 weeks away, and I can't wait.
We want to remind everybody that I'm usually home before 10:45, so by 10:45 we'll launch a special post-game edition of the 2-minute drill on Twitter Spaces. And we had a great time last Friday. We had Tarek Fatal from the Daily News. We had John Davis from the Press Telegram talking about the La Mirada Mayfair game, and it was a great night. So, and we're going to really try to expand and get more coaches on there to get reactions from their team after their teams won or lost. So, just make sure it's 10:45. We'll be launching Twitter Spaces. We're getting a lot of momentum now with it, Freddie, and I'm happy with it because people want to know what happened on Friday night. You're at a game. I want to know about that.
My last week, my bookets, man, I got cooked. I was booked this last week. I missed some goodies. All right. I thought La Mirada was going to win. I thought Rio Hondo Prep was going to win. Hey, it happens, man.
Hey, Freddie, before we leave,
showed up that week. The cooler showed up for those two games.
Hey, Freddie, one last thing I want to ask you about here. I don't think I like that jersey. Man, that's good stuff there, pal. Hey, LaSalle is 0-7. I don't think many guys had that on their bingo cards this year, pal.
No, because you have that great quarterback,
Richie Munoz
over there. Hey, look, they can't play defense. Isn't that the reason the Rams brought over their quarterback? The guy couldn't win because he had a team who couldn't play defense. Look, this isn't basketball. It's not like a great player who can go out there and will your teams to victory because they can play both ends of the court. LaSalle's got to figure this out defensively. They can score points. And I know that's even been a struggle, probably because, the other team's offense is on the field so much of the time. How many opportunities do you get? And when you start to get down, when things start to snowball, and you have a season like this, even as good as he is or as well as they can score points, every point becomes hard now because it's just hard to stay mentally focused now, James, with 3 games to go and you're 0-7. So it's just that kind of year for LaSalle.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but their girls volleyball team, different story.
Yeah,
much different story. So we want next week, folks, we're going to change things up a little bit differently. And the reason why is because the gentleman to the left of your screen is leaving town for a couple days for his annual trip to Las Vegas to go play some golf, and then whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. See, look at that swing, isn't that something, folks? So
yeah, it's a golf. We have this tournament of friends that we've done for about 20 years, and there's about 60 of us that go. It's really exciting. We split up our teams. I want to say actually this year it's 35 against 35, and we do Ryder Cup format.
Wow.
James, Ryder Cup format.
Wow. Sunday
and Monday. Then I'll play Tuesday morning. I'll be back Tuesday night. I'll keep in touch. We'll probably have a special 2-minute drill edition from Vegas.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I would rather you just have a good time.
Don't worry, Jimmy. I'll figure out a way to have this computer and we'll get this done. It'll be fun. You may have my brother and people jumping in the background trying to have a little fun, but
I'd rather you have a good time and not worry about it.
I'll make sure that I'm soberized and ready to go.
I'd rather you have fun and all that, but in case we may be doing the show on Wednesday next week, just because Freddie is out of town. I'm going to be the substitute teacher in the area for a couple of days, handling the stuff while Freddie's gone. So just to let you know what's going on next week. Got a lot of things moving around here. And by the way, folks, make sure you follow me on Saturday morning. The playoffs for girls volleyball get underway with the pairings that'll be released on Saturday. So we're all coming down to the wire here, Freddie. A lot of these sports here, so to speak, my friend. So
this is going to be up today, right? Monday. We got to get this up Monday, this 2-minute drill, because we talked Dodgers.
Oh yeah, we'll have it up this afternoon, pal. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Hey, appreciate it, Freddie. Have a good week. I'll be in touch with you, and guys, we'll see you on Friday night on Twitter Spaces after all the action at 10:45. There's your Brooklyn jersey.
Be good luck, guys. Be good luck, Brooke. Come on, let's go, Dodgers.
Sir. How about that Red Sox game last night, Freddie? Was that something?
I'd never seen anything like that. The ball bounces off the fence, off a player, ground rule double, run doesn't. Whatever. I know it's the rule that's been explained. Crazy. That's why postseason baseball is as fun the drama is as much as anything. Every pitch you're kind of hanging on. It's crazy. And it's long and drawn out, and it's hard to watch. Harder than a Laker game, harder than a football game for me. When you're a Dodger fan, you hang on every pitch. It's crazy.
Have a good week, Freddie.
Let's go.
Have a good week, Freddie. And have a good week, everybody. We'll see you on Friday night at 10:45 on Twitter Spaces. Until then, it's sayonara for now.